Welcome to our Heavenly Candidates Daily Devotion.
Our Bible reading for today is taken from the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verses 6 to 7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you.
1 Peter chapter 5 verses 6 to 7 is addressing all Christians who are facing persecution and suffering to humble themselves before God. And Peter is urging us to cast all our anxieties onto God, because he cares for us. We Christians are to always humble ourselves before God, submitting to God's will and trusting in his plan, even when things are difficult. God assured us in his word that he will lift us up in due time, which means that he will ultimately exalt and honor those who remain faithful to him. We should put our trust in God and hand over our worries and troubles to him, and he will provide for us and guide us through our difficult times. Let us humble ourselves before God and submit ourselves to his will and trust in his plan for our lives, even when things are difficult. And it requires a posture of surrender, and acknowledging that God is in control of all things. Here are some practical ways to humble ourselves before God. We must acknowledge our dependence on God. Humility starts with recognizing that we cannot do anything without God. We need God's guidance, strength, and wisdom to navigate through life. We must acknowledge that our lives are in God's hands and trust him to lead us in the right direction. We must pray for humility. Humility is not something that comes naturally to us, and it is something we need to pray for. We must ask God to help us see ourselves as he sees us and to give us a heart that is willing to submit to his will. We must learn to serve others. Jesus modeled humility by serving others, and we can do the same. When we serve others, we put their needs before our own, and this helps us to see that we are not the center of the universe. Serving others also helps us to develop a heart of compassion and empathy. We must submit to authority according to God's will. We can humble ourselves before God by submitting to those in authority over us. Whether it be our parents, bosses, or government officials, submit to them according to God's will. We must do this with the Spirit of God leading us with respect and obedience, knowing that God has placed these authorities in our lives for a reason. We must cultivate a grateful heart unto God. Gratitude helps us to recognize that everything we have comes from God. When we are thankful for what we have, we are less likely to be prideful or entitled. Humbling ourselves before God involves acknowledging our dependence on him, praying for humility, serving others, submitting to authority, and cultivating a grateful heart. By doing these things, we can develop a humble heart that is willing to trust in God's plan for our lives. God bless you for listening to our daily devotion today. Please join us to spread the good news of our Lord Jesus Christ by sharing, commenting, like the video, and subscribe. Please follow Heavenly Candidates on our YouTube channel and Facebook. God bless you all, and we meet again tomorrow if Jesus tarries.